Euphemia. Who does that word apply to? Our automatic assumption is Baal, and while it's not incorrect, she is not the only one in Inazuma. Visions have been a part of the nations and human culture for at least 500 years. They are granted by the gods as a sign of their favour towards humans' ambitions. They are not symbolic of their ambitions, they are symbolic of the gods' favour in them. After all, we see characters within Autumn Wind's Scarlet Leaves who want to progress forward and are proud to do so without a vision, while we also see the desperation towards those who wish for that power that the gods' favour grants. Baal's decree was to take the visions from the people, to stop them having this power for whatever reason she deems fit. And in a way, it is her right. After all, why would you want people in your own nation to have the blessing of a god that you did not provide or approve of? What if people prove themselves unworthy of that blessing after you granted it? What makes them more deserving than anyone else to have such blessing? People seeing the confiscation of their visions as being the removal of their ambitions is proof of how dependent the people who have visions become on that power. It's as if they forgot their ambition in the first place, because you can be ambitious without having that power. The Resistance in actuality is trying to maintain a system that's existed for 500 years. Which is why they are in a state of euphemia as well. It's not just Baal. And Baal isn't actually taking all of the visions. We see members of the Tri-Commissions have visions still. So in actuality, she is limiting the amount of people who have the blessing of the gods within her nation. But there are a select few she believes deserve that blessing. Until version 2.0. There is no way we can understand her exact reason. This eye here appears behind Baal in a halo as she is drawing her sword. We see specific torii gates rising from the ground and stagnant in certain scenes. We also see those same torii gates behind Baal. It is likely she is the one who drew them up out of the ground. Based on the scene of Ifa drowning, it's likely his voyage to Inazuma did not go well in that storm. All of the regions seem to possess their own giant elemental trees. For Mondstadt, there is Windrise. In Liyue, there is a tree at the base of Mount Hulao. And in Inazuma, there is the Sakura tree at Narukami Shrine. This reoccurrence implies that there will be a giant tree in each nation. Speaking of things within the nation, the statue we see is within the city. Neither of the other cities we've seen have those statues within city bounds. So that likely isn't a statue of the Seven, but it is probably a statue of an Archon. I don't believe it's Baal based on how the character looks. But the only way to find out is to see if all the statues look like that. But if it's not Baal like I believe, then it's likely the original Electro Archon, who looks suspiciously similar to Ye Miko. There is no guarantee it's her, it could be a red herring. But if it is her, then it makes sense of her knowledge about visions. And her interest in Aether would make more sense because he does not need a vision to use elemental power, while not being a god. If it is her, then how is she here, considering Baal is the Electro Archon now? She either would have had to give up her position willingly, or lose it to Baal in some kind of challenge maybe. Most duels in history are to the death. And in Japan, they have a strong sense of duty and belief in dying and living in an honourable way. So either, if it came to a challenge, she would have had to submit and Baal granted mercy, or she is dead. We know that spirits exist in Genshin's world. Andreas, or Lupus Boris as we call him, is a god who manifests himself in a physical state from being a spirit when we challenge him. And Perverses is an Adeptus who roused himself back to life in Liyue after his own demise, and spirits and demons commonly appear in Japanese folklore. Miko could simply be in that state. And to end this off in a way I enjoy, there is a flower referred to only in the games in an artifact set currently, the Thundersuva's Heart. This flower is plucked in a thunderstorm and blossoms only in thunderstorms and never withers despite the constant rain. Aside from the artifact set, this eternal little thunder flower is found somewhere else now, tucked into the God of Eternity's hair. Looking at the artifact piece and the image we got of Baal, the flowers are borderline identical. The only issue with the image in the Thundersuva piece is the flower is tinted by the electricity in the image. The flowers have the same length in petals, the same amount of large and small petals, which is 5 each, and the same coloration differences between the large and small petals and the colour in the centre of the flower. It's amazing subtle character design. So even without the kimono and the armour, just that flower would indicate, if you know the lore of the game, that she has a connection to thunder. While flowers are very significant to cultures, including Japan. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit because it's made me smile ear to ear since I noticed it. I could talk about more in this video, but I don't have enough concepts to back up the ideas behind most of the other footage, and I'd rather just experience it when the game comes. These are my initial findings and ideas. Hopefully it was insightful, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm still looking forward to streaming Inazuma when it comes out, and hopefully I'll see you all there, and I definitely aim on getting and streaming Getting Baal. But until then, I'd appreciate if you liked and subscribed. Let me know in the comments what you guys think on this information or in general about the game, and join the Discord, and see you next time.